present when you hear your name. Chairperson Jill O'Donnell Torme,
Present.
Vice Chairperson Henry Berger,
Present.
Trustee Herminia Palacio.
Present.
Trustee Brian Oberfeld,
Present.
Trustee Martin Burke,
Present.
Professor Luby Alatriste, faculty alternate. Vaughn Mayers, student rep. Jamie Lerner Berger, student rep.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Okay, thank you. So the public meeting of the Committee on Academic Policy Programs and Research is now called to order. Pursuant to the New York State Legislature's recent extension of the suspension of required in-person meetings under the Open Meetings Law, this meeting is being held remotely via video conference with access to the public session available live on the CUNY Board of Trustees website. A copy of the calendar or the agenda of items is also available online at the CUNY Board of Trustees website. Additional items may be added during the meeting. As a reminder, please mute so we can ensure that everyone can hear. I will now ask the Secretary of the Board to take a roll call attendance for members of the Chancellery.
Members of the Chancellor, please respond present when you hear your name. Chancellor Felix Matros Rodriguez.
Present.
General Counsel and Senior Vice Chancellor for Legal Affairs, Derek Davis. Executive Vice Chancellor and University Provost, Daniel Lemons.
Present.
President of City College and COPS Liaison, Vincent Boudreau.
Present.
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 Hayward Michael Dreyer, Associate Provost, Medgar Evers College.
Present.
Edwin Knox, Director of Online Business Programs, School of Professional Studies.
Present.
George Ott, Senior Associate Dean of Academic Affairs, School of Professional Studies.
Present.
Jorge Silva Puras, Interim Dean, School of Professional Studies.
Present.
Sarah Zeller Berkman, Director of Youth Studies, School of Professional Studies.
Present.
Thank you. Let's now turn to the items requiring a vote today. Given that board members are participating remotely and we cannot see everyone on the screen at the same time, I will read the resolutions and ask for members to respond only if you would like to abstain or oppose an item. Otherwise, your vote will be recorded as a yes vote. If you are voting no or abstaining, please state your name and vote. Additionally, if you wish to second an item or have any questions, please state your name first for the record, and let's try to avoid speaking over one another. So action items. Action item 1A is the approval of the minutes of the November 22nd, 2021 meeting. I move the item. May I have a second?
Berger, second.
Is there any discussions on this item? Hearing none, we will now vote. Please again, only respond if you would like to abstain or oppose. That item passes. I would now like to address action item B, the policy calendar. Policy item B1 is a resolution regarding the establishment of a Bachelor of Science program in Community Health Education at Medgar Evers College. I now call Executive Vice Chancellor and University Provost Dan Lemons to provide further background on this item.
Thank you and good afternoon, everyone. The COVID-19 pandemic has certainly increased the need for community health educators to provide vital evidence-based health information to diverse groups and communities, and Medgar Evers College proposed Bachelor of Science in Community Health Education is designed to prepare students for multiple roles in the high-growth community health education field. The program will fulfill the college's goal to expand its healthcare in Central and South Brooklyn, match well-prepared career entrants with healthcare opportunities in employment, and build a healthcare high school to career pipeline. This time I'd invite my esteemed colleague from Medgar Evers College to say more about this proposal. Associate Provost Hayward Michael Dreyer.
Thank you, Chancellor, EVC Lemons, and Chair Donald Torme. Thank you for inviting me today and for Medgar to come and present this program to you. I think I can begin by just giving some background on the impetus and reason why we began this program. I think, first of all, we recognize the great need in Brooklyn for more healthcare education among our communities. We have students here who are very interested in healthcare, but want a slighter science-focused curriculum that focuses more on communities and education and interpersonal strengths. And also, I think they want to bring home to their own communities some information they have that could increase wellness in their community. I think, as EBC Lehman says, this is part of our mission at Medgar to, I think, address health inequities and to work in communities where our graduates look like who they serve in many ways. We have 1,000 biology majors, which is incredible, like a fourth of our college. Many of them want to go on to grad school or are looking for healthcare professions that we don't offer here. We only offer nursing. And nursing is, of course, in high demand in our country right now because of COVID. At the same time, we need health educators out there too to provide this information that contradicts, the conspiracy theories or the false information that leads people to avoid vaccination or avoid healthcare in itself. And I think that we have a new school, I think, of science and allied health. I believe is the name. I'm not told officially, but I think this will be a first program to be in that entity. And I think there's great enthusiasm here at Medgar for this kind of program that really meets our mission in a full broad way. And I'm excited about the program. I'm an RN myself, so I'm very grounded in health education programs, and that's in my portfolio here as associate provost to help develop our healthcare portfolio at Medgar. And I'm very pleased that we finally got this far. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Dreyer. So I move the item, and may I have a second?
Berger, second.
Is there any discussion on this item? And I know there is. So Henry, I'll let you go.
There are 16 new courses being proposed for this program. First, let me say, I think it's a great idea. The need for healthcare professionals across the board is amazing. And the needs within Brooklyn for this kind of program, I think, are paramount. So I think it's a great program. But starting with there are 16 new courses. How are those courses going to be covered with faculty?
Well, I think what's interesting is that we have a quarter of them who are interdisciplinary faculty who will teach in the program. So we call it CHE for brevity. All right. So in CHE, this is not simply a discipline for one type of professional. So having people who are culturally based, for instance, we have anthropology, sociology, ethics faculty. We also have a faculty in, I think, 2 in psychology, sociology. So we're pulling on also broad strengths here already. We're also offering courses across the curriculum, like Psychology 101 is not required as our core at Medgar. So I think we're using other courses in our program that also supplement and add to the base for our degree. So I think that, this is not nursing. This is a separate discipline. At the same time, we have really strong strengths across the faculty in college to support the program. And I think they're going to like having another course to teach in their departments.
But I assume most of the faculty are currently teaching full loads. If we're adding courses, what are your plans for hiring new faculty over the first 4 years of the program?
Right. We predict 2 extra faculty for sure in years. I think it's year 3 and 4. The way the curriculum is structured, we have a heavily use of the interdisciplinary faculty at Medgar College who already teach here in year 2. So that really supplants. And we only have 2 courses in year 1, which helps us a lot. Taught by the nursing faculty. 1 course is Care of Self and Others. It's a 2 credit hour course to help students who want to experiment and see if this is the major for them. Then a 3 credit hour course. It may be, we think, the experimental course to see if this is the major that they're interested in. And so that is a light load for year 1. Year 2, as I said, has a lot of faculty who are already prepared in their own fields. And year 3 and 4 is the heaviest faculty load for the new faculty coming on board.
And you'll be hiring 2 faculty for?
Yes, year 3 and year 4. And as the program grows, and we hope it does, makes a lot of money for our college or university, and certainly meets Brooklyn's healthcare needs for certain, then we're open to adding more faculty too. We're going to use adjuncts who are specialists, for instance, public health ethics for instance, is a field. We do also have epidemiology here at Medgar College. So we're going to also use adjuncts in a very precise and solid way too.
Good luck with the program. It sounds great. Thank you.
Trustee Berger, I might just add that this program is the new component. Associate Provost Pierre alluded to this in the School of Allied Health and Science at Medgar, which has received already $10 million in city support. So it's a new endeavor that already has garnered significant support.
Thank
And I
you.
was
And
just kind of blown away by the fact that 25% of your student population majors in biology, which is
it is
it's
astounding.
an
That's,
amazing statistic.
it is.
Where do they mostly go on to? Do they mostly go on to?
Well, they want to go into nursing inside our college, and it's only a 2-year program. So it's very competitive to get in our program. And they primarily, some of them just don't know what's next. They think of graduate school, and having the new school that has allied health in the title, it's so important to our college. Now we can grow our programs with more of a reputation for healthcare disciplines and curriculum here. And I think from our survey, there was a very high interest in the program already.
Yeah.
And we think that students who are in years 1 and year 2 are primed to change majors. And it's not cannibalizing biology, because with 1,000 majors, that's not cannibalization of all of a major, basically. So,
And not everybody majoring in
interest is high.
biology is going to go on to medical school or even nursing school. So I think having another career path for those that may not be at that scientific level, I think it's a very, very smart move.
That was our idea. That was our idea. Yes.
Any other questions, discussion? If not, we will now vote. Please again, only respond if you would like to abstain or oppose. Hearing none, this passes. Policy item B2 is a resolution regarding the establishment of a bachelor's program in youth studies at the CUNY School of Professional Studies. I now call again Executive Vice Chancellor and University Provost Dan Lemons to provide further information on this item. Dan? You're muted, Dan.
Didn't obey my commands. So SPS proposes 120 credit online Bachelor of Arts degree in youth studies that will leverage the success of the school's Master of Arts degree and advanced certificate in youth studies. The program will be a collaboration with the current students and alumni, as well as with partners with the New York City Department of Youth and Community Development and the Administration for Children's Services. The program is designed to hold both the intellectual curiosity about youth and the concrete skill development that's needed with the age group, while infusing SPS's unique approach that is rooted in critical studies and an explicit commitment to social justice. Graduates of the Youth Studies program will be well equipped to lead and serve in supervisory and managerial positions across city agencies and nonprofit organizations, and will also be prepared to embark on graduate degrees in youth studies, social work, psychology, and education. At this time, I invite my esteemed colleagues from the CUNY School of Professional Studies to say more about this action. I think beginning with Dean Jorge Silapuras.
Thank you so much. Pleasure to see you all. Happy New Year to all I haven't seen before or since last month. But this is a really, really interesting program that we have developed in the last few years at the master's level, youth studies, under the leadership of Professor Sarah Zeller. Is one of our jewels, one of the preeminent programs at SPS, and I would love for Sarah to be the primary person in charge of describing the program, why the need and the interest in expanding successful MA into the bachelor's, and how we plan to execute it. So Sarah, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Dean Silapuras. and thank you, everybody. The need for this degree at the undergraduate level actually came from the field. So we were in a process of creating a strategic plan for the master's program. And so we were meeting with many people in the field, and they said, you know what, the Department of Youth and Community Development just made it so that directors have to have a BA, and there were a bunch of other shifts in the field. And they were saying to us, there's a real need at the undergraduate level. We love the master's, and there's a need at the undergraduate level. And so we really had a human-centered design process that was at the heart of creating this particular program, where we brought together, once again, people from the Department of Youth and Community Development, ACS, field leaders, nonprofit organizational leaders, as well as our current students and alumni and professors in the master's program, to think about the competencies, skills, knowledge, competencies that would be important for the undergraduate degree. And, as you can see from our various letters of support, it really kind of was generated from the ground up. And more broadly, our city's commitment to young people has increased dramatically in the past few years in terms of the amount of funding for the Department of Youth and Community Development, and the ways in which ACS has now a whole, as they took over the juvenile justice part of the way our city does juvenile justice, they have developed youth development specialist positions and have put a lot more funding into this type of work, in addition to the incredible network of after-school programs that we have, and many other community centers in our city. So the degree at SPS will be a hybrid degree that's really for people. We anticipate that people will already be in the field but never completed a BA. As we said, we designed this degree to do concrete skill building, as well as really hold the intellectual curiosity for young people, and we also made sure that we are really building on incorporating credit for prior learning, and really looking at many of the credentials that people need to work in this field, and making sure that people can either have the opportunity to gain those while going through the program, as well as make sure that they get credit for that. We're trying to make it as smooth as possible to get people to the 120 credits. I can go more into the degree structure. Please let me know kind of what level of detail would be helpful. That was more kind of the need and how this came to be. But please let me know if I should go on and go into greater depth, or.
Well, why don't I move this item and get a second and see what questions we have. So can I have a second, please?
Burke, second.
Thanks, Martin. And now, is there any discussion or questions? Henry, you're on mute, but I know you have a question.
That may be easier. I noticed you're expecting a fairly large enrollment. It seems like at the end of your chart, it's up to 165 students. How many additional faculty are you looking to hire? How many will be full-time? How many will be adjuncts?
Yeah. In addition to me as the director of the program, we also have Regina Bernard Carreno, who comes to us with 2 decades of experience in CUNY. And she is going to have 40% of her time more in admin with this BA. We also, by the end of year 3, I think it was the end of year 3. I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember all the charts in this proposal. But I think we have 3 full-time by the end of year 2 and 4 by the end of year 5. We do, I think for our program, there's a value of having people that are in the field. And so people that are teaching these courses that are doing the work and are also incredible educators. I'm sorry, I'm seeing my internet is unstable.
You're
Can't
okay
hear you.
right now. You're okay right now.
I'm hoping you can hear me.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think we also have some master's students that have been working in the field for a very long time, came through the master's, were very excited teaching at Brooklyn College Youth Studies program and in other parts of CUNY. So I think we are also really excited to bring some of them in to teach some of the courses as well. But
Was there another question, Jamie?
I have a question, yeah. So I'm actually a master's student at SPS, but I'm in the Disability Studies program. Hi, Dean Sivalpoulos. So my question is, and maybe it's because I was added to this list very late, so I didn't get any paperwork for this, but I know that all the students currently at SPS are transfer students. They don't come in. So this is a 120 credit. Does that mean it's starting from the beginning? Or are you expecting people to come in with a year or two of credits?
At this point, because that is SPS's model, we are expecting people that may have some credits from other kind of starts and stops with a BA. And we also, as we said, you know, we're really also trying to have credit for prior learning. And for example, sometimes people in the field have to do some credentials that is required by the Department of Health as they're running program. And so we're trying to get people credit for things that they may have done in the field to get them to those credits too. And I think, you know, my dean can speak more to this, but yeah, we're trying to also see if there are some on-ramps that could, if people don't have the 24, that could get them into the program.
Right, because
Yeah.
my concern would be if, sorry, yeah, my concern would be since SPS doesn't already have set up a lot of those introductory classes and introductory writing classes and other things as a school, that bringing people in a first year position, maybe they wouldn't have the support structure, but it seems like that you guys are not taking zero credit people.
Yeah, Jamie, just to clarify, as of today, our policy is that for all bachelor programs, students need to bring at least 24 credits to be admitted as transfer students. Granted, some of those 24 credits could be in the form of CPL or credit for prior learning. But yeah, they come with a level of maturity and previous experience in college that prepares them well for the program. Thanks for the question.
Any other questions? Seeing none, we will now vote. And again, only respond if you'd like to abstain or oppose. Hearing none, that item passes. Policy item B3 is a resolution regarding the approval of the actions in the CAPRA dashboard. I now call on Executive Vice Chancellor and University Provost Dan Levins to provide further information on this item.
Thank you. Routine academic matters, local academic policy, and course inclusions in the university's general education program are presented to the Committee on Academic Policy Programs and Research in summary form. Introduced in October 2019, the CAPRA dashboard makes it possible for trustees to interact with this summary data. A few highlights from this month's dashboard include classification of 11 new general education courses among colleges, giving students more options to study the physical sciences, mathematics, and the humanities. 57 programs actions, and 9 new or revised undergraduate policies.
Okay, so I'm going to move that item. May I have a second?
Berger, second.
Thanks. Is there any discussion
I have one-
on the CAPRA?
I have-
Yes, Henry.
I, of course, have a question. There's a reference to an amnesty program at College of Staten Island that involves removing all previously earned letter grades. How does that affect a student's standing, their credits towards graduation, if you're removing all the grades? How does the amnesty program work?
Dan? Dan, you're still muted.
Trustee Berger, give me 1 second. I'm just looking for that in the
It's on
report.
page 483.
33. Still looking. I'm gonna download this again because I took it off of the board. It doesn't have a page 43.
You want me to read it to you?
Yeah, if you would, that would be, okay, here we go. Now it's, okay. Got it. No, yeah, please do, Trustee Berger, if you could read it.
It says academic amnesty for academically dismissed students. And it reads, removing all previously earned letter grades of A to F from the GPA calculation would have the result of recognizing the coursework completed successfully and maintaining those credits, while also providing the amnesty recipients an opportunity to complete their degrees at CSI. And I guess what I'm getting at is if you're removing a grade of F, are they still going to get credit? When you remove the grades, does that affect the calculation of a GPA for eligibility to continue or for certain scholarships? How's the amnesty going to work?
I believe that's the case, but I will have to get back to you, Trustee Berger, because I'm not sure. I have to look into the details of this.
Because I haven't seen a program like this before, and I was just wondering, is this something that's going to be happening more across the board in the age of the pandemic, or is this unique to CSI?
Well, at this point, it's unique, and whether it becomes a pattern, I don't know.
But if you can give me the details, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, you can do that.
Any other questions? If not, I guess we will now vote with the caveat that more information will be coming back on this matter. So again, only respond if you'd like to abstain or oppose. And items passes. And then we have another informational item, 2A, is a revised new resource table for the Bachelor of Professional Studies in Applied Management and Entrepreneurship at the CUNY School of Professional Studies. I think this came up at our last meeting, and I think we have now provided an updated table about this, but I'll let Vice Chancellor and University Provost Dan Lemons give us a little bit more data on that.
That's right. The revision was requested by members of CAPR during the last committee meeting. At this time, I'll invite, again, my colleagues from the CUNY School of Professional Studies to say more about this. Dean Silva Cuevas.
Thank you so much again. And I will pass the microphone to our esteemed professor, Edwin Knox, who took the task of clarifying certain questions that were raised the last time. So Ed, if you could please clarify for the record.
All right, thank you, Dan, and thank the Chancellor for the invitation to do so. What we were concerned about is that we had not put any consideration of part-time faculty for the growth in the program. So we went back to take a look at that, and what we considered was how many additional new courses, new sections we would need from the first year through the fifth year. Initially, we know that we will have 2 additional courses because they're being designed. So we added those 2 in along with the sections we already have. And then we looked at the growth over time and how many additional sections we would need to put there. So we talked through that and we made the adjustments that sort of reflected what we believe the growth would be. So what you would see in that table under part-time, that it starts at 40, but it would eventually up to about the fifth year based on the number of new sections we would need. Given the growth consideration, it moves up to 112. The other thing that is there was the full-time faculty member to oversee the program. Certainly that faculty member would also have the responsibility for teaching courses as well, but the oversight of the program. In this program, the majority of the courses are already designed. We're already offering them, so we have room in there in our faculty to handle that. But the new courses around entrepreneurship would be offered in there. So initially, they're added in just with 2 additional sections required, and then it progresses where we would see the need for additional sections of courses across the board, not just in the entrepreneurship sphere.
Thank you.
And I presume that then this will be covered in your budgetary expectations moving forward too, that probably changed your budget also. But I know we don't have to vote on this item. This is an informational item only, but thank you for clarifying that. So with no more items on the agenda, I move to adjourn the meeting. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. The meeting is adjourned. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you
See
all.
Thank you,
But-
everyone.
Thank you. Have a nice day.